And joining me around the table, Republican Congresswoman Marsha Blackburn of Tennessee, Anna Navarro, Republican strategist and Jeb Bush supporter, Donna Brazile, Democratic strategist and vice chair of the party's Voter Registration and Participation Project, and Hillary Rosen, also a Democratic strategist. Nice of you all to be here again. I want to start with Bill Clinton because that was just hilariously funny. Hillary, I'll start with you. Do you think that this whole backstage idea that he put forward in an interview he did with Town and Country magazine is really going to last? I mean, obviously, if you have Bill Clinton at your disposal to be a political strategist, who wouldn't want to use him? But the question then is the public role.
Look, we have 18 months till Election Day, and I think he was telling us in that interview exactly what his plans are. So he is going to be backstage, and I think when push comes to shove, you get into a general election campaign, and you know, there is no better surrogate in the party than Bill Clinton, and there's every reason to hope that he's going to be used. And as an advisor on ongoing, you know, she's going to be blessed with really good advice.
It is true. I mean, who's better as a communicator for Democratic principles, even Republicans admit, than Bill Clinton?
Listen, even Republicans like Bill Clinton. The truth is, he's got such people skills. He remembers the name of every human being he's met in his life and their pet and children. You know, he's so folksy, he's authentic, he's a great orator. The problem is when they're sharing the stage like they did at the Iowa Steak Fry and they're following each other. Following Bill Clinton is a very tough act. And Hillary Clinton's not as politically gifted. I also think one of Bill's problems is going to be that he tends to, it's hard for him to control his temper. He can go get angry very quickly when they are criticizing his wife, when his wife is being criticized. And at some point, he's going to have to rein that in. I don't think that's going to be easy.
Let me ask you, Congresswoman, as a female politician, I mean, there are different standards, fair or not, right?
There are different standards, and I think one of the standards that will come into play from that people will look at Hillary and say, did he pave the way for her, and would she have been able to be where she is if not for Bill Clinton?
He argues very publicly that she should have been president first.
I know he does, and but the perception with people is he has paved a lot of the way for that, just like people feel like Hillary has excelled because the media runs interference or Team Hillary runs interference for her, and so thereby she's been able to get where she is. They wonder if she has the work ethic in and of herself to be tough enough to do this campaign. And I think that's a big question.
I mean, anybody that knows Hillary Clinton
work ethic is not her
tells
issue.
you that her ability, her discipline and her focus and work ethic is beyond. And I think, look, I think the reverse question could also be true. Has she paved the way, or would he have gotten where he is if it weren't for her? When you're, the bottom line is when you're a couple, you're a couple.
Donna, you know them both.
You know, first of all, she traveled well over 1 million miles on behalf of the country during her tenure as Secretary of State. When she ran for the United States Senate back in 2000, she went to all 62 counties by van, not bus. I don't think it's a question of stamina, nor do I believe it's a question of who's going to be on stage with her. What she's going to do today in that announcement is to make the voters, the American people, the middle class, those who are struggling and aspiring to be in the middle class, that's going to be the center of her attention. That's what she's going to put on stage today.
Donna, I want to ask you about what we've heard from the Congresswoman this morning, other Republicans, about this being a third Obama term. You were the campaign manager for Al Gore.
Yes.
You remember how angry Bill Clinton was when you kept him locked in the White House.
Not me.
And the campaign kept him locked in the White House and not out on the campaign trail for Al Gore. Well, do you think that Barack Obama is different, and should Hillary Clinton have him out there? Is he an asset?
Well, yes, he is an asset, and so was Bill Clinton in 2000, an asset for us. This is different. I mean, she's not the sitting vice president of the United States. Joe Biden is holding that seat.
I'm so glad you mentioned him. Poor man's so forgotten.
She was Secretary of State, though.
She was Secretary of State, but this is not about Barack Obama. She's not going to run from from Barack Obama, the way that many of the senatorial candidates in 2014 ran, from President Obama. Rather, she's going to run on her own ideas. She has enough currency not to need to run behind someone, but to run ahead. So I don't think it's a different campaign.
What did she accomplish as Secretary of State?
Well, first of all, you forget what state the world was in before. Look, think about Gaza and how the
think
United
about
States.
Benghazi.
No, well, I read
about
that.
Boko Haram.
I read
the
report,
Benghazi
and
thing
there's
is going to be dealt with because Republicans and Democrats on that Intelligence Committee both agreed that Benghazi report said that there was absolutely nothing more she could have done, and she was absolutely nothing she was at fault for. But I think that the Congresswoman raised another issue that is going to be critical for Hillary Clinton, which is the reintroduction of who she is. Mm-hmm. This isn't just Bill Clinton's wife. I mean, this is a woman who her entire career has been fighting for children and families in every aspect of her career. And I'm comforted by one stat I recently saw, which is that the Pew Research Center did a survey of young people ages 18 to 29 who were not around in the Clinton era, right? They believe that not only are they interested in Hillary Clinton, they all think actually she's in her 50s or maybe even younger. People are anxious to know Hillary Clinton as she's going to take.
Unfortunately, we remember being young. You don't know the difference between 50 and 80 when you're young, but that's a whole different story.
But it shows that they're looking for who she is,
right,
and that they do not see her as a vision of the past. They see her as somebody of the future.
Are Republicans making a mistake by all a dozen of them going so hard against her? Are they, in a way, helping her?
Look, I think it's the dynamics of the race. On the Democrat side, we know who's going to be the nominee. I'm sorry, Joe Biden. I know we want to pretend for a little bit, but we know it's going to...
There are a number of people who are thinking it through.
All right, girl. That's your story. You'll stick to it. But on the Democrat side, we know who's going to be the nominee. And I think part of this auditioning process on the Republican side is their ability to go toe-to-toe with her, and how are they going to deal with her, and how are they going to call her on her record and scrutinize what she has done and has not done in her public life.
Okay, we're going to talk a lot more about the Republican field. We had an announcement this past week. We have one tomorrow. Stay with us. When we come back, we're going to talk more about that.